guys, and welcome to the 11th episode of season 2 of the Brown Girls Guide podcast, where we discuss everything we wish we knew growing up. Hi, Amber. How are you feeling today? Good morning. I say good morning because we're recording this morning for the first time. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kelly. It's 7:30 right now, guys. We are up and at it, and it's cold and raining, and I can't believe I managed to pull myself out of bed. I can't believe it.
Yeah, if you hear rain in the back, or if you hear water pouring in the background, it's the rain, and because we haven't actually cleaned our gutters, so it's that.
Just a nice ambiance. Nice ambiance. And before we jump into today, Kelly, it's 7:30, so I assume you're not having wine or gin. I assume.
I'm not. You assume I'm having a cup of coffee, but I've added a little bit of Milo to it because, why not?
Oh, nice.
All these little things that bring me joy. I'm going to assume you're not having a false pinotage this morning.
Not this morning, no, but I am having your favorite coffee, your favorite non-coffee coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. Guys, I'm in spiritual bondage with coffee. Like, I will never let it go. I love it so much. I think it's the best thing ever. And I can't picture a cold morning without a cup of coffee.
Good for you. Well, I'm not having like super expensive coffee, but it's still instant coffee. We like mix it up between like Jacobs and Nescafe Gold. And then also like Checkers has a really nice coffee range. Real coffee, not drip coffee, real coffee. So we try to buy these a lot because it's actually really good. But I'm glad that neither of us have started this day with booze because that would be a problem. Speaking of problems, Amber, do you want to let everyone know what we are talking about today?
Yes, so today we are talking about work-life balance, mainly because this is something that Kelly and I, especially this year, are navigating. So we got a lot going on here between work and the podcast and just like our normal lives. So we thought it would be a nice opportunity to just chat to each other and chat to you guys about how we try to maintain, this balance without losing our fucking minds, to be honest. How are you feeling at the moment? Do you feel like you are balanced right now?
I feel I could be more balanced. I feel like I've gotten more balanced since working from home. I know a lot of people have felt the opposite, especially like parents of like young kids. I know they have felt the opposite because the kids are just there all the time, and because they are dealing with kids during the day, they're working at night. And they have to play like catch up and all those things. But I feel that because I'm working at home, I don't actually like spend as much time in traffic because, I live like far from where we work. So I don't spend so much time in traffic. And then I just wake up in the morning and I can actually do an exercise at home, which is a great way to start the day. I don't always do it, but I try to do it at least like 3 to 4 times a week. And then I start my day off slowly instead of in a rush to get out the door. And then also when it's the end of the day, I can end the day and like step away from my desk and then still be at home. Like I don't actually only get home at 6:30, like something to 7 because I sat in traffic for an hour and a half.
Exactly.
So that helps. But I do find myself overwhelmed sometimes because I feel like I do more work now at home. Like I don't understand it, but I just feel like I do more work at home. And also because we've taken on this passion project of ours, we dedicate a lot of what would have been our free time to this as well, which is great and we enjoy it. It's just, I think I need to just like find a rhythm with it as well. Are you feeling balanced or imbalanced? How are you feeling?
I feel imbalanced. And I feel like I'm like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel because the last 2 months were a bit hectic for me. I couldn't find a proper balance between just work and life. And I do agree with you about working from home, though. I do feel like I found a better balance because, like you said, we don't spend a lot of time in traffic, which doesn't affect me now, but it did affect me then. We don't spend much time in traffic. I can plan my day much better because it's just at least like 2 hours of a day that you get back, because you're not going into the office or driving indoor. And there's time in my day to do things around the house, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes here and there, tidying up or cleaning. That adds up to a lot at the end of the day, you would have to do if you were in the office from like office 8 to 5.
Exactly.
So I do like that I have more time for my life, but I'm really hoping to sort of get into a new routine where like we fit in like 9 to 5 and then also the podcast and everything else we're working on, which I think I'm starting to do now the last couple of weeks. I think I'm also a little bit relieved now that social establishments are closed.
Yeah.
Just to rein it in a bit and to help me balance because I have been going out with friends a lot recently and I could feel like, I'm getting a bit tired. My body wasn't used to that anymore because of last year we were like inside the whole year. essentially. So I was getting tired more easily. Just one day out in the week and I'd be exhausted for like 3 days. So clearly I didn't want to say that, but yes, I am also getting old. So I went out on Saturday just for context. And in order for me to go out one day, I had to stay indoors Friday and yesterday.
Wow.
Just to get one day in. Wow. Which makes me so sad. But I mean, that's just life.
Yeah.
So yeah, before I just end up rambling on and on, in conclusion, I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like I'm finding my balance again, which just makes me feel much better.
That's good. Have you put any like certain steps in place other than the things you've mentioned? Like, I mean, we didn't make ourselves work from home. It was we were asked to work from home, which is great, which is fantastic. But are there any additional like steps you've put in place that helps you with your work-life balance?
So what I do to help myself stay balanced is I do a huge to-do list, which I know I always talk about to-do lists, but I just find that it really, really helps me. And I used to just do to-do lists for work, but now I do it for like my whole life. So my whole list even has washing the dishes. I'm not even joking. Like everything I wish I could do for the day, I put on the list. So if it's doing a lot of laundry, doing the dishes, because it's so easy to, at the end of the day, sit back and think, oh my God, where did the day go? What did I even do?
Yeah.
But if you look back at what you've ticked off, you've actually achieved so much more than you think you did. So I like to put all my admin down, everything I do that's personal, any like banking or paying accounts, anything, I put that down. Because as the day goes on, you get so busy, you forget what to do, you forget what you already done. So I like to do that. And I like to do my list now, not the day off, but the day before. So like in the evening, even when I'm sitting in bed, if it's on my phone or in a notebook, I'll just write down, everything I want to do the next day.
That's a good idea.
Instead of the day off, because then I feel more calm waking up, knowing what I want to achieve for the day. So I find that helps me loads. And also the going out one day in the weekend and not feeling like I need to be a social butterfly Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, it's tiring. I can't do it anymore. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I used to love going out from Thursday to Sunday. It just, nope, not anymore. I need to stay in my lane.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I do. Just limit going out and then also planning ahead as much as I can. What do you do?
For me, I try to schedule things that bring me joy in my day, if that makes any sense. Especially if I have like a crazy day, like I know I've got a crazy work day ahead. My husband and I will schedule like a coffee walk just around the block. Not today because it's pissing with rain. So we'll schedule a coffee walk, like just around the block, just to get us outside and away from our desks and to relax my mind and like center me. I know it like sounds all woo-hoo, but it helps.
I love woo.
I
love woo.
And it just helps like so much because like sometimes I get so absorbed in work, and at the end of the day, I find that when I eventually do log off, I'm so tense and I actually have a headache. So
oh my God.
To just add a little bit of like balance in there, we do coffee walks around the block every now and then, and we have lunch together every day. There's maybe like one day every 2 weeks where we don't have lunch together. It's usually only as long as an episode of Superstore, to be honest, because that's our lunchtime show. So we'll prep lunch, like one of us will prep lunch, and then we'll meet together and we'll eat it and we'll watch a Superstore and then we'll go back to work. But we make time for that every day. Otherwise,
I love that. That's so cute.
It's just too easy to get caught up in work and just to work all day and not actually look up and realize that you are tense and you have a headache and you're actually feeling really anxious about whatever's going on. But also what I've tried to do, Amber, which is probably what you're trying to do now as well, is learn to say no. When people ask you, do you want to do this? Do you want to come around? And I feel like there's a lot of guilt that comes with it because it's often family that invites you around. And for us, we live in the north and all our family live in the south. So for us, it's a drive. And to all the family listening, love you so much.
Love you the most.
Would love to see you all the time. But sometimes it's just been a long day at work and we just want to relax on the couch or read my book or have a bath. I haven't had a bath yet. I just must tell you that after our conversation recently. But it's on my list of what to do.
Have you had
work-life.
A bath yet?
I haven't had a bath yet. I haven't. Do you add exercise into your day as like a work-life balance thing? Or do you meditate? Or, I mean, I know you don't meditate. We've spoken about this before.
I struggle so bad to meditate. But exercise, I was going to the gym after work for a while. But lately it's just not fitting into like my schedule. So I work out in the mornings and I'll do a Chloe Ting workout. And I try to do like 3 times a week, which is going well so far. But if anyone is looking for an at-home workout, and you have a laptop or TV and you've got YouTube, Chloe Ting is just, I mean, you'll die, but she's amazing. She's great. And it's a nice way to start your day. Yeah, I know you work out in the morning as well, but you use Nike app, the Nike app.
I actually haven't used it as much. I will do my own workout just based on the equipment that we have. And then I will just YouTube something like we bought like a little step, like a gym step thingy. And then I just YouTube half an hour step workout and I die.
Oh, nice.
But it's great.
It's great. Yeah, it really wakes your brain up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And also it really goes a long way to achieving that work-life balance, because if I don't do that and I wake up early and I don't exercise, I'm just going to sit at my desk, to be honest. And I'm going to start the day early and then I'm going to do like 12 hours of work. Well, not 12 hours because I don't wake up that early. But I'll do like 10 hours of work and I won't have any like exercise time or fitness time or just good mental space time.
Exactly. And it's so easy, like you say, to just start working in the morning. And when you work from home, you don't realize how little you actually move your body. Like you just move from the bed to the kitchen to the shower with your desk.
Exactly.
So if you don't do something in the morning or in the evening to just move your body, you could easily go a week without walking more than 500 steps, which is scary, but it can happen.
I know.
Like that's how I felt the first few weeks of our lockdown many, many moons ago. That's when I found Chloe Ting, because I was like, oh my God, I am moving so little. I need to do something.
Yeah.
So if you can, do workout at home, because my roommate and I, my safe person, guys, by the way, FYI, she's amazing. We realized last week, like from Monday to Friday, after Kelly, obviously, guys, we had not left the house, not one day in the week. Which I mean, because we're obviously trying to limit contact or whatever, but also we did not leave the house. It's so easy to just not leave and not move.
Yeah. And you guys have a coffee shop like up the road, don't you? So you could have just walked to the coffee shop to get a coffee and walk back home.
Exactly. Even walk to like the OK on the corner to get like veggies or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever we needed that week, we ordered in on Checkers. So nobody actually had to leave. It's insane.
I also find that having our emails on our phones really does not help the work-life balance. Because I will literally lay in bed and answer emails at like 9 o'clock at night. And I'm just like, why am I doing this to myself? And it's also like the first thing you do in the morning, like you check your emails. And also being in the PR industry, you don't want to miss like an opportunity for an interview or something.
Exactly.
So you're constantly checking your emails. I've actually, just for better work-life balance, actually, I've put the email alerts off across all my emails. I have 3 primary emails for work, Brown Girls Guide, and my private one. So I've put email alerts off across the board because in fact, I put all alerts off. I put all my Facebook alerts off, my Twitter alerts, my Instagram. I put all alerts off because if it's constantly on and I just want to read or I want to watch a YouTube video or we're watching a movie or whatever, then I'm constantly going to be checking my phone and working and my brain is constantly going to be switched on and I cannot deal.
That's actually a very good idea. It's so good to actually turn off your alerts. And I think I need to start doing this because I'll be in bed or like just chilling like after 7, like going through my Instagram for the day and I'll see an email pop up and I never don't click on the email.
Yeah.
I won't just be like, oh, it's not urgent, I'll check it tomorrow. I will always open the freaking email.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try doing that. I've already turned off alerts for a messaging app we use for work, which has helped me because we do message each other a lot on there and it's easy to just hop in there and like contribute when it's not an emergency. Obviously, it's an emergency, it's a different story, but that's the only app I've like muted for now, but I'm going to mute my emails too. I think that's a good idea.
I actually don't have that off. Like that is still on. The messaging app we use for work is still on. But it's fine because not many of us use it after work, which is great. But I do also find that I've turned my WhatsApp is on silent. Like all notifications on my WhatsApp is on silent. Because if it's constantly going off, it annoys me. Like I can feel myself get anxious every time it goes off. And
I hear you.
It could be work, it could be personal, yes. But I know if it's an emergency, like someone will phone me. And I'll check it every now and then. Obviously, I just can't have it like nagging. It really like stresses me out when I'm just trying to relax and my phone is just constantly going off. I can't deal with that. So that, as we go into the tip section as to how to achieve work-life balance, just manage your technology, how often you are on your phones or your devices, and also the notifications that come through. If your work email does not have to come to your phone, then don't have it on your phone.
Just with regards to what you mentioned earlier about learning to say no, I think that is a very important part of achieving that balance. So for me, it's more my social life where I need to learn to say no and, balance when I feel like I want to go out or I want to see friends. It doesn't have to be physically going out. It's also like talking to your friends on social media all the time. I can get so carried away and talk to my friends like for like hours on end. And it's just important to decide like, is this going to take away from me resting or feeling, better in the morning? And also with work, obviously not saying no to your boss, but learning how to, put your hand up and say, listen, I'm going to need some help here because I can't do X, Y, and Z. Is there any assistance I can get? That's something I'm only learning how to do this year, which our boss has been so calm in teaching me to do because I will wait until I'm drowning, which I'm so glad I don't do anymore. But yeah, that's what I think is really important, is learning to say no and choosing more carefully what to do with your time if you have free time.
Yeah, no, I agree. So for me, from my side, I think I have the tendency to just want to do everything, or not even want to do everything, to need to do everything. I always feel like I need to take on everything, and it just impacts my headspace and it impacts my time, my family time, my personal time, all of that. So I feel like in terms of work, I need to do everything. I feel like in terms of my home, I need to do a lot of stuff, and I just need to let that go because I don't actually have to take care of everything. I can just let it go, and I can let other people do tasks, whatever it may be. And then I have more breathing room for myself. But also I do need to disconnect. Like I need to actually put my phone away at night and not
me too.
Constantly check emails. So that is definitely something I need to do. But I came across a really, very helpful article on The Guardian, 10 tips for better work-life balance, which I'll share in the episode description. And also maybe we'll write a blog about it one day. I don't know.
Cool. And I also found this really cool article on a website called The Happiness Index, which I think is actually a book. I'm not too sure. But in this article, they stress the importance of work-life balance and like the benefits of living a balanced life. Fewer health problems, like physical and mental health problems, more engagement with the things you actually do, more mindful. So we'll include that link as well.
And we will also put everything on our Facebook and our other social media pages, which you can find links to in the episode description. And I think that's all the tips we have to share. Amber, is there anything from your side you'd like to say still? Any last things you'd like to get in there about the work-life balance before we end the episode?
I think I would just say don't be too hard on yourself. And I love how I always preach this to other people and I don't practice it on myself.
We are also learning.
We are also learning. Don't be hard on yourself. You are obviously not going to achieve that balance immediately. You can learn as you go. And sometimes you'll take on too much and that's okay. You'll learn to do, better next time. It's totally okay. But yeah, that's what I'd like to share. And from your side?
Nothing much else from my side other than just end work when work ends.
Yes.
Don't take it to bed. I want to say don't take it home, but we've all taken work home. Don't take it in front of the TV or at the dinner table, and just try and squeeze in something every day that brings you joy, even if it's just 5 minutes of joy. It can be a delicious cup of tea and a biscuit, whatever it may be. I sound very British right now. I don't know. It can be that, but try and squeeze in something every day that brings you joy, just to not only have work the only focus of your day.
Amazing. And take baths, guys. Take baths.
That too, yes. Take long, relaxing baths.
And on that note, I think this is a nice note to end it, I'd say. So as Kelly said, you can find us on social media, on Instagram and Facebook at Brown Girls Guide Pod, and on Twitter at BGG Pod. And obviously, guys, you can also reach us on email at info@browngirlsguide.co.za. So like Kelly said, this is episode 11. So next week will be our final episode for season 2. And as always, thank you so much for listening, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.